Welcome to the morning show on WRCO Radio. In the first part, we're going to have some fun with a scary hunting story. Joining us in the studio is Jane Piotrowski, who is a local children's author now that she's published her first book. Good morning, Jane.
Good morning, Phil. How are you today?
I am great. Good to have you in the studio here. So is writing a children's book, has that been kind of a lifelong passion for you?
Oh, absolutely. I've been writing and telling stories since I was as little as can be.
Wow. So this one, how long have you had this one in your noggin, so to speak?
I actually wrote this one back in 2018, and it's just kind of taken this long to get it out and published and put together for the public.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm actually living here in Richland Center, and I have two little boys and my husband, and we actually we all pretty much work at Lamer's bus line in Spring Green. I drive bus, and I am working in the office throughout the day.
You have a love for the outdoors, though, I understand.
Oh, absolutely. I have a passion for being out in the great outdoors. I try and get out in the woods as much as possible. I'm not a hunter myself, but my husband is. We do a lot of outdoor shed hunting for antlers and mushroom hunting and ginsenging. We just try and be out as much as we possibly can as an entire family.
What's the connection with the state of Alaska?
We have a homestead in Alaska. We actually just purchased a year and a half ago, and we went up there for a while, and it was an amazing experience, and I can't wait to get back there.
Awesome. The weather, what's it like right now this time of year?
Actually, my husband just got back from Alaska, and he said it was about -10 the last day he was up there, and they had well over 10 inches of snow at our homestead, and just as nice as can be. He said the humidity there is a lot better than here. He said, the weather that we have here has bitten right through them, but 10 below up there is just perfect because there's no humidity. It's really nice and relaxing up there.
Oh, I'm sure. So, My Scary Hunting Story is the name of the book. I know that you first got it copyrighted a few years ago, but what did it feel like to get that first copy in hand?
Oh, my goodness. It was a dream come true. An absolute dream come true. I've been working on this book. I actually ended up putting it on the back burner for a few years because we were running a farm and just working, and then finally I had the opportunity, and I just said I need to do this, and so I did it.
It's been kid tested. Tell me about the reactions from the children that you've read it to.
Lots of laughs. The ending is the best part about the book. Every kid I've ever read it to, they enjoy reading it themselves too. It's one of those books that you can use your funny hunting voice to bring it to life. It's just a fun book to bring to life itself.
Kids love to hear stories read to them, but they also love to look at the pictures. Can you tell me about the illustrations? The
illustrations tell the full story. You open up the book, and the illustrator did an amazing job. Katrina Susiani, she was just an amazing illustrator. Unfortunately, she passed away a couple years ago due to COVID. It was a very devastating loss for me because I have other books that I wanted her to illustrate. But there's some amazing illustrators out there, too, that are willing to help me with my other ones.
It really comes to life, though, and when people pick up the book, they'll know what I'm talking about. But the pictures just, they really pop out, don't they?
Yes, they do. Yeah. Yep, I chose the illustrator for the reason I really like the watercolor illustrations is what she did. She did it all by hand and did a really amazing job.
Well, would you be so kind to read it for us here this morning?
Absolutely. I will read it in my funny hunting story voice.
Okay.
All right.
Very good. Jane Pitrowski, My Scary Hunting Story.
I'm a big hunter, how do you do? I got a scary hunting story that I got to tell you. So I was hunting in the woods late one night when a pack of wild beasts came running into sight. Now they were also big, just like a Godzilla, but hairy all over, just like a gorilla. So I watched them pass one after another, and to my surprise, the last one was my mother. With razor-sharp teeth and big red eyes, and a halo over her head made by fruit flies. Now I should have known it was her as she started to get close, because I tell you what, friends, she didn't smell like no eggs and no toast. As my eyes started to water and my nose started to run, I thought to myself, hey, I'm a big guy and I kill big deer. I shouldn't be shaking with a mortal fear. Now, I know what you're thinking. I shouldn't be scared of my mother. But only I know what happened to my brother. She caught them off guard. It was a total surprise. Then all that were left were her two brown eyes. So I gotta be strong and I gotta be a winner, or else I'm going to be my mother's next dinner. And you better believe she'll be on the hunt for more, but you won't see her trotting through the local store. Because she likes to stay hidden as can be, except for when Patterson caught her on TV. Now that didn't make her happy. In fact, it made her mad. And I think that's why she went after my dad. Now my dad was a good guy, as good as a dad could be. Anytime he would see her coming, he would tell me to hide in a tree. And then one day it happened. My dad was no longer there. Although I searched for days, I could only find some hair. So if you don't see me next year by the lake, you'll know what happened. I became a steak. Now that is my scary story for this year. And if you see her coming, you better run with fear. Because if she don't catch you and kill you, her looks just might. I tell you from experience, she's not a pretty sight. And now you'll know why I had to stay put. And you would too if your mother was Bigfoot. Thank you.
Good stuff. And the radio audience can't see the illustration, but there is his mother. It's Bigfoot. And she even has lipstick on, I believe.
She sure does.
That's a female Bigfoot. And sure enough, fruit flies flying around.
Like I said, I really love the illustrations that she did. She was an amazing illustrator.
Yeah, that'd be rough if your mother was Bigfoot, I think.
Yeah, it sure would be, I think. Yeah, I had a lot of walking through the woods coming up with this one.
I bet. Yeah, your inspiration. So are you a fan of scary stories too?
Yes, I am. And my 3-year-old now, he is a huge fan of Bigfoot and cryptid stuff. So, like I was saying, I have a couple other books that are going to be coming out. One next year, hopefully I can find the right illustrator to do it. And that one's going to be another blast to be reading on the radio.
Can you let us in on what the titles may be of your next books?
Yes, I actually, I'm coming up with, there's my crazy fishing story. And then another one that's going to be camping, but I haven't quite figured out what that one is. So, but that will be fun.
Yeah, that will. So again, outdoor stories. Where do the ideas pop up? Where do they come to you at?
Usually in the strangest times. I'm just like, oh, this is funny. Just coming up with like in the book how the mother with the fruit flies, what would be funnier, having you got your red eyes, your sharp teeth. Hey, fruit flies flying over her head. Make it, fun, not just for me, but for everybody else.
Indeed. Children can really use their imagination, can't they?
Absolutely. And that's what it's all about, is making the children laugh, and myself too. And that's something that I've always, done when I'm writing stories. I try to make myself laugh. If I'm going to laugh during it, I'm guaranteed somebody else is probably going to laugh too.
Teachers will tell you how they can almost tell which kids have been read to at home, because they just I don't know, they're better readers, probably can learn to read better and things like that, but also imaginations and everything else.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That goes a long ways when you're reading to a child and you can bring their imaginations to life. They don't need pictures. And like this book, you really don't need the pictures to bring the book to life because it really just speaks for itself.
You developed the deer hunter accent there a little bit too, didn't you?
Yep. Yeah. I like that accent. I think it's a fun accent to have. And that's kind of where I got the inspiration is, his voice is where I bring to life this book. And the fishing story, that one's going to be a little different. So I really can't wait for that one to come out.
The storyteller in here, then, are we to assume that it's a baby Bigfoot then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Right.
At the end.
We never see his picture.
Nope. He stays hidden as it could be. Except for when Patterson catches you on TV.
And who's Patterson? Just someone.
James Patterson. He's the one that caught Patty on film, if you know anything about Bigfoot.
Oh, okay.
Back in the 1960s, he was the first one to...
Okay, did not know that. So you got a little history involved here as well.
Yep. I try and find something to really bring the book to life, and it's going to be a lot of fun to be able to read this to other people.
It always fascinates me because I've always had a thought that I should write a children's book. Because,
and you should.
Like children's experiences and things like that. I'm always telling a story about this mean rooster we had. And I'm always thinking Speckled Pete would be a good subject for a book. But then I don't want to make it too scary for the children either. So there's somewhat of a fine line there, isn't there?
Oh, like with this one, I read it to many children. Some people would think, a mom coming after her kid and, what's left of her is two brown eyes. That might be a little scary. But, when kids put their imagination in, it's not scary. Uh-huh. There's a lot more bad things that's going on. And, it's just a funny rhyming story. If you can make it funny in some sort, then that's what the key is.
When you write these stories, you put them down. Then do you test them on your own children then?
Oh, absolutely. My kids, and I've done some book readings at other schools too, and they really seem to enjoy not only me reading it, but then being able to read it themselves. I've had kids that are just sitting and listening. All right, do you want to come up and read? And they really enjoy doing that too, and using their voices.
That's awesome, and reading out loud, and it's kind of a lost art sometimes, isn't it? Yeah,
it is. Sometimes it can be kind of scary to try and get up and read out loud, but having support and just knowing that you can do it, having faith is huge.
People couldn't see it, but you were actually reciting the story. You weren't actually reading it. I was impressed by that too.
Yeah, I've read it enough times where I know the book by heart.
So where can people get my scary hunting story if they'd like to pick up a copy?
Oak Hooch Bookstore here in town, they have it. Other than that, on Amazon or other websites. I know Amazon is selling it, and Barnes & Noble, they're also selling it too. And I actually do have another book reading at Barnes & Noble come the first of the year. It's called Bringing in the New Year. So that will be a fun book reading. And I'll have my stand up there in Madison. So that will be a lot of fun to do.
That's awesome. I've been there a couple of times when they've had book readings. You got a big area there. That's got to be a fun time to get up in front of an audience and do that, isn't it?
Oh, it's a blast. It really is. And I also have somebody that's working on doing a video for this book, because I've heard from other people that it should be like a short video and maybe put it on Facebook or other websites, do a TikTok video or something of it. So I have somebody that's working on a video, and a couple different people have offered to do the voice for my scary hunting story. So
wonderful.
It'll be fun.
If you need somebody to play Bigfoot, we've got some people around the radio station here that probably could fit the bill.
Yeah.
So, okay. Oh, that's awesome. Well, thanks for coming in and sharing your story today.
Thank you.
This
and
is
you have a
fun.
great day.
You bet. Nice to meet you, Jane.
Thank you.
Come back when you get your next children's book. We'd love to have you on the air again. So.
Thank you. I definitely will do that.
Jane Piotrowski, look for it. It's called My Scary Hunting Story. And again, available locally at Okuch Books and Libations. It's a great one for kids of all ages.